Here we are again.
No.
On my
Don't
channel.
be so nice to them about the harassment they gave me. Yes, it's up on Skitten's channel. Stop yelling at me for it. Yeah, damn. Oh, that means that the Franks here, that means the Shut up.
Oh, what up, Hope and Skits? It's your girl Skitten back at it again. Hello, husband.
Hi, how you doing?
We have Casual Geographic.
Where are we at?
Here.
Okay.
On SkittenSays.
Yeah. Okay.
My channel.
Very nice.
But you can have the next one.
The lie detective determined that was a lie.
I want all of them. I want to run the game. I'm tired of sharing.
No, you can have the next one. I'll let you have the next one.
The skip-a-deal is.
The skip-a-deal is. He commented, you know?
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
I watched the Fallout one too.
Yeah.
Way better than I could have thought. Because the other ones were such a slog.
Right.
Oh, God. So we're back for more facts, the animal stuff, though.
Yeah. If you haven't watched our brain rot stuff, go do that if you feel like your brain rotting, I guess. The title of this one is Why This Might Be the Most Disrespected Job on Earth.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm trying to think of what it could possibly be, and I feel like it's garbage men. I just feel like people be talking so bad about garbage men. Those guys do a really good job at their job, and they get paid actually really well.
They get paid really good. One time I gave a garbage man some cookies.
Yeah.
And then the next time I forgot to take my trash out, he went and got my trash for me from the side of my house.
Yeah. Anyways, we've gotten off track as we so often do. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe and sanitized. I'm super excited to see what this video has
the
to
guy
say
who
for us.
mops up strip clubs.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Okay,
definitely
yeah.
a job that's got to be done. There's I don't know one. Never met one guy be like, I mop the strip club.
Yeah, I go like,
Yeah.
Anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
So there's a lot of talk about man versus bear. Would you choose the man? Would you choose the bear? How about we talk about that time women chose gorillas? This is Shibani. Shibani is a 27-year-old living in the Hiyashiyama Zoo in Nagoya, Japan, where his face card went viral and caused a direct increase in the number of female visitors. Call him George the way he had these women curious. Last name Clooney, because that's the main guy they compared him to. Oh, and if you couldn't tell, Shibani is also a 400+ pound primate with a perpetual pump. Not only that, he's a loyal husband with 2 wives and children. That's a family man being lusted after. Some of the words he was
Loyal with 2 wives is kind of crazy, but
You can be loyal to 2. Uno, dos, los. What is the thing you say?
Porque no los
Yeah. Uno, los, dos.
That does not apply. That does not apply to spouses.
How do you say wife in Spanish?
Esposa?
Yeah, el refried. Dos esposas. Los dos. Sí.
Okay. All right.
loyal husband with 2 wives and children. That's a family man being lusted after. Some of the words used to describe him were punky, heartthrob, metrosexual, spornosexual. I didn't even know what that meant.
I don't know what that means.
Google it.
No.
Google
I
it.
refuse.
Does it mean you want to fuck apes?
I feel like it has something to do with that, and that doesn't need to be in our search history. Actually, this is your computer. It can be in your search history.
That's what I'm saying.
You want.
Yeah, I'm saying that's mine. They'll flag me.
Oh God.
One article even asked, quote, would you go for a romp in the jungle with Shibani? Huh? A sinful liaison, that's harambe. Had women hot and bothered, that's femme flambe. Call him Susan B. Anthony the way he had women showing up to the poll. Just kidding, real ones know gorillas ain't packing anything but a room. But yeah, Shibani's looks transcended the laws of nature, and if I had a nickel for every time a woman's feelings towards a gorilla made headlines, I'd have 2 nickels. Which is too many more than I should have.
That is a lot.
One woman.
What do you mean? What is happening?
Man.
He just looks like a gorilla. Am I crazy? Am I losing it? Do my eyes not? He just looks like a gorilla.
I don't want to say it, but they all look the same. I was holding it back, but they all look alike. They all look like dirty apes.
So, I don't understand.
I'm just kind of holding back, you know, but they're never beating the allegations. First horses, then dogs, now gorillas. Stop doing these things to animals.
I don't understand. I'm so confused.
And this video is long. Like, this is only a minute in.
Oh God.
It was a frequent visitor at the Digar de Blijdorp Zoo. It is too many more than I should have.
Say it again.
One woman was a frequent visitor at the Digar de Blijdorp Zoo in the Netherlands. And her favorite was a silverback named Bakido. Up to 4 times a week, she'd find him, make direct eye contact, and smile. I'm not even gonna explain how much of a gorilla middle finger that is. Keepers tried to warn her, but she didn't listen. Her and Bakito, they had a connection. Oh, they connected all right. One day she smiled again and called him constipated because Bakito was not letting that shit slide. Bakito broke out and would proceed to put the beats on her like Afro music. And he jumped over a water-filled ditch to do it. Gorillas hate water. Keto was fed up. He was calmly escorted back home where he lived well for another 16 years until he passed away in April of 2023.
So wait a minute, he beat this lady for smiling at her, which is a thing. That's like you just slapping her in the face repeatedly.
Yeah.
But they let him go home? Is that what I'm hearing?
Damn.
Also, where's the video? Where are the articles? Show a little article snippet of this. I would love to see some.
They could let Harambe go home?
Well, yeah, that's a little different, though.
They could let him go home.
He didn't taunt him for weeks. Damn!
His get back on his biggest fan / op was immortalized as a word of the year. And the woman, who I originally felt bad for, apparently didn't get hit hard enough. So for y'all that don't know, my first aspiration in life was to be a zookeeper. I even had a state-of-the-art custom virtual simulator to prepare. Yeah, that dream flatlined pretty quick. For reasons.
I'm so sorry.
What?
They don't pay zookeepers for shit!
Most zoos don't make money. What do you mean? Of course they don't make any money.
What the fuck?
The zoo itself is not making money. They pay to get animals to get them in zoos.
This is crazy.
It's not a good business.
This is crazy. $18 an hour. You make more in and out.
Yeah, but I need to see the year, though. What year is this based off of? 2024? They're making good money. It's only for high schoolers anyways. What are they supposed to do? Eat off of this wage?
Imagine a bunch of high schoolers working at the fucking zoo.
It's a retirement position. What do old people need to do? Pay off their debts? They have families for that.
But this video is going to be about probably what my life would look like as a zookeeper. The weird stories, the dirty secrets, and the random trivia the average person would probably know nothing about. Like, what is the most dangerous animal in the zoo? Like, actually, the answer just might surprise you. Actually, probably not. Born Free USA has a database where you can look up incidents involving exotic animals in America. And if you search up animal attacks by any species in any state in an AZA accredited zoo, you'll see that the #1 culprit are big cats. Because out of 101 recorded injuries, they caused 46 or 38%. Elephants were second at just over 17%. But if Bakito proved anything, it's that a lot of them had it coming. Just probably by primates and bronze in brutality at 14%.
Just take the shirt off. Just take it off.
Yeah, I think we said that the first time we saw this video too.
Okay,
yeah.
I mean, bro, it's not that serious.
Take the shirt off.
Right.
Let him have the shirt.
He's gonna hurt you.
You don't need the shirt.
Reptiles like Komodo dragons and bears like pandas got just over 4% each. 9% were marine attacks by animals like orcas, dolphins, and stingrays.
Wow.
And the remaining 13% were just other. Other being something like a kid falling into a rhino enclosure or a woman climbing into a giraffe pen and nearly getting kicked off the census. Now, take it with a grain of salt, because I thought for sure zebras would be up there, but they weren't even on the list. And I know for a fact at least a couple should. But these are attacks. I want to know what zooby's most likely to put a halo on my head.
That reminds me of when we went to the zoo in LA.
Okay, yeah,
Remember
pretty good zoo in LA.
We went to the zoo in LA
Yeah,
and
nice.
we went with our friends. And we went to the tiger enclosure, and there was no tiger in the tiger enclosure.
And then what happened after
that's kind of weird.
What
and then
happened
after that, they had like a whole section of the fucking zoo closed off.
You walk in.
And you just saw a bunch of people standing around looking concerned.
Not looking for anything yet, but they were all looking at each other like, this is not good. They're going to put an announcement over the PA. They lost something.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't tell us what.
They wouldn't tell us what was going on, what happened. They just made sure we didn't go into a specific part of the zoo. And we were like, that tiger's not where it's supposed to be at, is he?
One of them tigers just jumped out and y'all were just like, what do we do about this?
We never did figure out what happened, but I will maintain that a tiger escaped.
I maintain that something went missing. I go, maybe not tiger. Nobody was running fast enough for that. But, penguin on the loose.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
Little pinguino.
Well, in the same database, if you looked at every time a person got put on a shirt at a zoo, accredited or not, big cats did it over 40% of the time, with elephants at a hair under 30, and surprisingly, bears barely even scratched at less than 9%.
Okay, so you might be onto something. Maybe that tiger did get out,
telling you.
because it's 40% of
I'm telling you.
Here's the thing, if you look at non-accredited zoos, the big cat number grows to 47%, with bears and elephants at 16 apiece.
Wow.
And lastly, in accredited zoos, elephants actually took the lead at 47%. Big cats were the suspect 33% of the time, and bears weren't even on the board.
What do
So if you're a
elephants be
zookeeper at a
doing?
zoo that actually has its stuff together, statistically, if there's any animal that erases you, it's gonna be an elephant. And if the zoo's suspect, best believe a big cat might be your downfall. But also remember, if it does happen, it'll probably be your fault or your coworkers. Now, if you work at a zoo long enough, eventually some animal's gonna escape, whether it's a minor inconvenience like a bunch of meerkats or a code red dead to rights and murk on site like a chimpanzee. It's gonna happen, and the best reaction is proaction. So some zoos do escaped animal drills, but instead of actual animals, one Japanese zoo will have workers cosplaying as an animal taking a cue from Madagascar and breaking out. Thank God, because I'm not even going to tell you what I thought this was. What the hell? But it's a pretty harmless way to remind everyone what to do when an animal gets out. That being said, this would be a tragic time to not be sober at the zoo. But what animal's the most likely to escape? In my non-professional online opinion, there's two. If you want to test how good a spot is at keeping the animal in, you should probably hire the man of the forest or the orangutan. Fu Manchu was an orang that nearly got an entire staff fired because there was a solid week where they would show up to work and the entire orangutan posse would be posted up outside. About a week was how long it took for them to realize that Fu had snagged a wire, hid it in his mouth most of the day, and used it to pick his enclosure lock when no one was looking. And Ken Allen was a hairy Houdini who got out so many times that the zoo had to hire rock climbers to find every possible point of exit. So they didn't know how he got out, and Ken for sure wasn't about to tell him. And what did he do with all this freedom? Well, when he wasn't wandering the zoo looking at animals like everyone else, he was pelting rocks at another orang named Otis, because even a 95% vegetarian can make room for beef. The other animal's the red panda. Do your homework on how hard it is to keep this red-faced raccoon in. A quick Google search will tell you that a red panda escape has made the news at least once in 1978, 2005, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2013, and you know what? Probably more. My favorite was red panda Rusty slipping out the Smithsonian and walking the streets of Washington, D.C. completely unbothered. So yeah, if your job's keeping a ninja panda or a Cheeto-flavored gorilla in check, you're gonna have a bad time. But some animals are a great time to work with, and it's often not the ones you'd expect. Rhinos are legally blind trauma tanks that will buck up to a butterfly. In a zoo, it's a 2-ton Labrador with the personality of a lap dog. And they put the zoo in zoomies. Turkey vultures are unironically like precocious toddlers that'll follow their favorite keeper around and play games with them. And cheetahs might just be the most people-proof predator of them all. In fact, almost too much for their own good. Cheetahs get treated like the doormat of the savannah, and their life doesn't become a cakewalk in captivity. Oftentimes, the overgrown house cat is too anxious to even think about making more cheetahs. So...
Not the cats having anxiety.
Right, they just stressed out all the time. They finna eat my ass, huh? They fat me up to eat me. And they just all walk around just confirming this. They finna eat us, bro. I'm telling you, we about to die.
That's so funny.
They said Johnson got COVID. That's bullshit.
Some cheetahs get emotional support dogs. So the dogs are assigned to the cheetahs as cubs, and the idea is they become a bonded pair, with the cheetah seeing Fido as a role model to mirror and take social cues from. It's literal emotional support, because if the introvert cat sees that the dog isn't stressed or pressed, it allows them to chill out, or at least enough to motivate them to multiply without a calculator. And to make it even more wholesome, a lot of zoos like the one in San Diego will use dogs rescued from kill shelters. Definitely one of the top 5 animal friendships. And it's not even the only one in San Diego. This is Zari the zebra, also from the San Diego Zoo. And this is her best friend Sophia. You see, Zari doesn't just live there. She's one of the ambassadors for the zoo, spreading smiles and awareness. But I'm also guessing you can't really have your ambassador around other zebras because... let's just say that might not be the best influence. So in comes Sophia, a miniature Mediterranean donkey and Zari's roommate and best friend. To say they're inseparable would be a massive understatement. And while I can't exactly tell you who's influencing who, just know Zari and Sophia give any cheetah dog duo a run for their money. Now, speaking of role models, have you seen this video of a panda struggling to break bamboo? That's Mang and he's not struggling. The story goes, he was hand-raised by humans his entire life, and while a 250-pound bear might have no problem snapping sticks, a weaker human will. So apparently years of watching his surrogates get humbled by a bamboo somehow taught him that that face is necessary to break it.
I know, I heard that.
That's so fucking funny.
I heard that, and then I saw a video guy on TikTok who's like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of bamboo and prove it's not that hard. And he was like, he couldn't even break it. He was like, it's actually so bendy.
Yeah, it won't break.
It's like, it won't break.
Yeah.
You know? So I was like, oh, I could totally see people just like, you gotta make the face if you're like,
That's so funny.
Yeah, that's cute.
That also reminds me that my husband has been accusing me lately of trying to make him feel strong by not
Oh,
being
she
able
is
to
though.
open
This
things.
this is true. She will
No, it's
she'll be
not.
in there cooking and she'll like be talking to me, but then she'll miss my face and she'll be like, "Can you please help me?"
Oh my
open,
God, that's not what's
please?"
happening.
And then I just like pop. Oh, thank you, baby. But I tell you, thank you.
I'm not okay. Look,
Yes,
I'm not
Uh-huh.
trying to be like a damsel in distress.
and I can save
I would
you.
much prefer if
Yeah.
I could just open the jars and shit
Right.
by myself.
I totally believe you. I have no doubts.
I'm so serious.
Mm-hmm.
You can even find videos where he breaks it, starts eating, realizes he forgot to struggle just to grimace and continue. Pandas are a lot of things, and apparently Good at Simon Says is one of them. They're also by far the most expensive animal you'll see in a zoo. Any American zoo that wants a panda will have to pay a small annual leasing fee of up to $1 million, along with $600,000 for every cub born there. Add the millions to build their enclosures and the thousands spent feeding them, and the black and white bamboo bear is about 5 times more expensive than second place. And that's literally the biggest thing alive with legs. And best believe they know it, you might never meet a more high maintenance mammal. In 2014, the Chengdu research base set up a live stream so viewers could watch expecting mother, these names are killing me, Ai Hin bring another panda into the world. It was then canceled after it was discovered she had faked her pregnancy. So now the same animal that got his brain nerfed by nature figured out that if they can play pregnant even after the hormones wear off, they can finesse preferential treatment. And they're not wrong. Any future mother pandas are moved to a single with AC, they get round-the-clock care and more fruits and bamboo. Quite frankly, I don't blame the bears for working smart. But it gets even crazier. Did you know pandas can be bougie? Mei Lun and Mei Hun were 2 pandas born and raised in the Atlanta Zoo, but were sent back to China in 2013. The only problem? They refused to eat any traditional Chinese meals, only American. They were not rocking with the what with thou. They wanted biscuits and cookies. And pandas aren't even the only ones to pull some stuff like this. Japan's Akone N was used to feeding their residents aji, or Japanese horse mackerel. But thanks to inflation, they decided to cut costs by switching to a cheaper alternative.
Can't do
Saba.
that.
And wouldn't you know, the penguin with king in his name was not about to eat like a peasant, since them and the otters refused to substitute. You see, that's the part of zookeeping they don't tell you. All that time spent preparing fish, slaving away while the stench of your profession dents your social life, just for an uppity tuxedo chicken to choose hunger strike. Man, you know they don't get paid enough for that. Literally, the only compromise was mixing the cheap fish with the aji. As you can see, some animals are way more high maintenance than others, but some are too difficult to even exist in zoos.
Those penguins are just like me for real, because Chavez tries to get me to get the generic version of shit all the time, and I refuse.
One time she tried to buy $7 butter. I'll die.
It's the good
I'll
butter.
die. I'm not spending $7 on but I'll churn that shit myself. Who are you playing with? I'll make my own before I make $7 on butter.
It was good, but when we finally got it on sale, was it not the best butter?
When it's on sale, it's pretty good. When it's $7, you could take my foot first. I'll make it.
I will just not buy cereal rather than not buy the name brand cereal.
That's fair. That's fair. Cheap cereal will take your tongue off.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I absolutely refuse.
They take everything of the cereal they're emulating except the texture and taste.
Yeah. They'll take the looks.
Box name, color, price, and then you'd be like, this is cardboard with milk in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta do name brand peanut butter, name brand jelly. I'm not doing generics of those. So actually, condiments in general. I'm not doing generics of condiments.
You're stressing me out. we're gonna find a compromise in here somewhere.
But I do like I do the generic version of all kinds of stuff.
We have Albertsons up here. We can't be spending all that money. No, we're already paying a premium at Albert. Albert is rich right now. Shit.
I'll take I'll take the Albertsons brand liquor any day.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's the one thing we can find. Albertsons tequila. All right, we're down to try it.
Think about it. Think of all the zoos you've ever been to and try to see if you can come up with any notable absences.
Absences? They wouldn't take the elephants outside.
Time's up. When's the last time you saw a moose in a zoo? For a lot of y'all, including me, probably never. You've probably seen bison, bears, bobcats, cougars. Y'all know I could speak on wolves, but no moose. Why?
Mooses
have specific diets. They're built like a tank and, of course, eat like one. And really, you can do everything
Every time
right.
I
They
see
can
that
still pass
video.
tests in a few years. And apparently, feeding an antler warrior that can't even survive a president's term is a bad investment. So are leopard seals. You'll likely never see the op of happy feet in a zoo. Narwhals can literally die of social anxiety, so they're out. Tarsiers sometimes seppuku themselves in captivity, so that's a no-go. And they say dietary restrictions are why proboscis monkeys are rare in zoos. I call bull shark. It's definitely because schnazi might be the most inappropriate animal to take your kids to see. And yes, my head's here for a reason. I'm not about to catch an age restriction over an overexposed lipstick dispenser.
We did that on the Frank video, and we have to re-edit it to put it back on the internet.
Yeah.
They wasn't playing with it.
I literally edited almost all of it.
Yeah.
And I missed one, apparently.
They were like, still no.
They were like, no.
You could just use fake animals, because it's not like that hasn't happened before. In 1987, a zoo in China was exposed for painting a sun bear and presenting it as a panda. That's a sun bear, by the way. In 2018, a zoo in Cairo did the same, except they had a donkey and zebra face. 2013, and we're back in China, except this controversy was about their resident African lion. There's a lion. Did y'all even try? But by far, my favorite counterfeit creature story is...
These dogs are advertised as panda dogs. They're just dogs, okay? According to Chinese state media, the zoo confirmed it dyed the dog's fur to look like pandas to fill in the blank of not having actual pandas.
You know, if I took time out of my day and spent my hard-earned money to go see a panda and got this,
I wouldn't be mad.
I'd probably go and spend more. Man, they got pandas from Team. Why can't even be mad? So obviously people are usually happy to see animals at zoos, but you ever wonder how the animals feel? Well, someone did.
Sometimes.
And a study from Nottingham Trent and Harper Adams University studied over 250 animals in zoos to see how their behaviors changed around human company. Using hours of observation and research, they found that the animal most excited...
I want to go feed deer.
Yeah, there's a couple deer parks. I was thinking about the same thing. You might
like it. I want to go do that.
You might enjoy it.
That's so cute. As long as it's...
They're going to touch you, though.
So here's my thing. As long as they're small.
Right.
It has...
Define small. They get pretty big, so define small.
Like waist height. Not like when we went to the Grand Canyon and those elk showed up and I almost died.
They were begging this dude to not touch this elk. And this thing is massive, by the way. 8.5 feet, easy.
It was so
I mean...
It was so big.
And then when he started growling and bucking, everybody wants to scatter and run. And that hippie was just so satisfied with him. Like, I told you to leave him alone.
I was so angry because I was trying to pull Chavez. I was like, we need to go. We need to run. It's not safe. We were so far from the elk. Just to be clear, I was definitely overreacting.
I mean, far for humans, not far for an elk.
Not for an elk.
Yeah, right.
I was like, we need to go. We need to go get in the car. Like, they're antagonizing this fucking elk.
Yeah. Elk are pretty chill compared to a lot of other stuff, though, you know? Like, if it was a moose, he would have just left the park entirely.
Company. Using hours of observation and research, they found that the animal most excited to see people at zoos, and I really hope this is true, were elephants. Elephants showed the most positive reactions to large groups of people, becoming more active, more playful, and overall seeming to have a better time when humans were around. The other people-happy animals included cheetahs, jaguars, penguins, grizzly bears, polar bears, a cow called a batang, servals, and black-tailed prairie dogs. And on the other side, the animals that seemed to like human company the least were hedgehogs, ostriches, marsupials like kangaroos, ungulates like giraffes and antelopes, and probably most random of all, the tuatara. They have 3 eyes and apparently none of them want to see us. As for the rest, the vast majority of animals had no reaction. The study does raise an interesting question, and that's how the pandemic affected zoo animals. Believe it or not, some animals actually started to miss people. The worldwide panoramic left elephants confused and disappointed. Birds like kias and cockatoos missed the attention. And you even had apes like chimps actively looking for missing visitors. And while the shutdown gave us gems like penguins exploring empty aquariums or a sea lion getting introduced to a tegu, by far the best story to come out was what happened in a Japanese aquarium. You see, the eels in Tokyo Sumida Aquarium were used to people, but the pandemonium turned them back people shy, and those same eels would now hide in the sand whenever a worker or someone walked past. The problem is, that made it almost impossible to check up on them and keep them healthy. The solution was the aquarium asked people to FaceTime their eels to refamiliarize them with people, like some exposure therapy. There was a legitimate time where you could have gone on a date with an antisocial eel, and the worldwide pandemic brought a lot of bad, but this was definitely a bright spot. But now, zoos are back open, so here's some hacks to get the most out of your experience.
Sure.
Animals are going to be most active on cooler, cloudier days, and they usually peak as soon as the doors open. Also, you're going to want to aim for a random weekday, since the less crowded, the better. Try
Got it.
You can be there the next overcast 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. I swear you'll see a different zoo. And if you're a cat person, you might want to wear some Calvin Klein. No, seriously, the Klein is a favorite for cats of all kinds, from cheetahs to cougars, from lions to leopards. In fact, researchers have caught wild jaguars on camera by dousing the trap in obsession for men. So next time you're at the zoo and end up in big cat country, go ahead and spritz some of the Klein and see what happens. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I imagine
What
I'm
a random video.
disappointing to me for not blasting zoos for 15 minutes, that I can't possibly care about animals if I still go to them. Here's my take. I've always said that zoos are capable of a lot of good and a lot of bad, but a lot of them are an invaluable resource for conservation and awareness. And while I agree, there are some species that are just not built for zoos. A majority of them are there because they literally would be worse off in the wild. Chomsky's horse was basically halfway down the grave, but it was the work of zoos that helped bring them back from the brink. Same thing with the California condor, and about a dozen more. And spare a thought for zookeepers. They're overworked, underpaid, usually overqualified. And like I said, the smell isn't just something they leave at the office. Not all zoos are created equal, and it's at best lazy, and at worst almost dangerous to put them all in the same boat. But I'm gonna stop yapping, drink water, hug your mother, support your local zoo, just make sure it's accredited.
Cute.
Matter of fact, give a zookeeper a hug. Who knows how much they need it. And I'm gonna see y'all in the next one.
You know, it's very fun because every time me and Skitten go to zoos, we always talk to some of the retirees that work there.
Yeah,
And
it's always a great time.
Yeah, it's always a passion project for them. They're always really in love with what they're doing. They always have information you wouldn't get otherwise. And when you take time to actually talk to them and not just look past them to the animals.
Exactly.
You know,
you can learn so much.
You can. Remember that lady gave us a whole hack how to get to the giraffes and everything?
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I would just like to say that they were talking about like, oh, these animals have like positive feelings about people. And I'm like, yeah, because I want to eat us. The polar bear, that polar bear is not like, oh, I'm so glad my friend Richard is here. I'm like, he's like, it's fucking dinner, bruh. Like,
so
I would just like to be clear.
Oh my God.
I just want to be clear.
So if you guys want to go out and pick up some cougars, put on the Klein, and donate to your zoos that are in decline.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, RIP to Ozzy, the only giraffe that was in Vegas. He was at that little Henderson sanctuary. So RIP to that guy. I really hope that you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave your reaction requests and recommendations in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me, husband.
You're welcome.
Other than that, peace out, hope biscuits. It's Skittenlit.